Well, a very good evening and welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm Antony Minnis and I'm glad you've been able to join me on this extremely nice day again outside. So I have my trusty phone with me so I can see who is coming in and joining us this evening. So we have, let's just have a look at the list. Please come in and say hello, by the way, in the comments. So we've got Liz. Hi there, Liz. Glad you could join us. We've also got Laura, and we've got Carol Beck, who is watching, and also Tracy Mowbray, I think that's pronounced. And we have Cindy. Hi there, Cindy. Glad you can join us. All the way, I do believe, from America. So a very warm welcome to you this evening. Well, I've got lots to do. I've got Laura Holland. Hi there, Laura, the owner from That's Crafty. Please, if you've got any mixed media products that you want to buy, please head over to the That's Crafty website. There's loads of stuff there, from Prima Molds to Stamperia, you name it, they've got it, and they've got their own brand as well. So please head on over there and see what they have to offer. We've got Sarah Tench is also with us this evening, so very warm welcome to you as well, Sarah. Well, I have got actually loads to show you this evening. It's all about roses. Now, you know, I'm sure you've probably seen these. Now, by the way, if the green elements within the leaves show the background, then that's because it's a green screen. Let me just, yeah, I knew it would. Look at that. That's clever, isn't it? So this is the sort of rose that you can easily create using some of the cutters from FMM and also using their clay as well. I'll be showing that this evening in our live. Let's just have a look. Jean has joined us. Hi there, Jean. We've also got Maria, and we've got Julie Williamson as well, who has joined us. So a very warm welcome to all of you who possibly haven't been to have a look at one of my Facebook Lives before. Like I say, we are all about making roses this evening using cutters and clay from FMM. Now, they are really nice and easy to make. There's two different sets of the cutters available. I'll be explaining that in a little more detail just within a few minutes. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over to our introduction video, and then I'll be with you at the desk cam in a mo. And indeed, it is clay flowers made easy. So two new people have joined us. We've got Ian, who's joined us, and a very good friend, dare I say old friend as in old because I've known her for years and years and years, Elaine, has also joined as well. So big hello to you all. Right, so the cutters in question this evening are these ones just here. I'm just going to move the light so we've got a slight shadow. There we go. I think that's probably even worse. Right, so these are the cutters. Okay, so these are what they class as 5 petal leaf cutters, but there's also another set of cutters that FMM do, which are these ones here that are the easiest rose ever cutter. Hi there, Julie. Julie has joined us. Julie Williamson is saying hello to everyone, so big hello to you. So there's the two different types of cutters, but the ones we're going to concentrate on aren't these tonight. Okay, that's for next week's Facebook Live, because I thought we would do 2 because there's just so much to actually show you. So these are the ones indeed that we're going to be using on tonight's stream. They come in various sizes and they're all available from the FMM website. Now, if you've never been onto the FMM website, please head over there, because all of the products that we actually use on tonight's Facebook Live are actually on there. So we're just going to head over on to their website. So when you get there, you'll see all of the products nice and easily displayed there, so there's absolutely no going wrong. So let's just go and have a look at the 5-piece cutter. So just go into the flower section that is over here, and then you can see you've got the easiest rose cutter. We've got loads of other veiners, dahlias. They're all available on the FMM website. If you want the 5-petal cutter, the one that we're using tonight, then just simply go into the search there, put 5, and then let's have a look. Petal cutter. This is hopefully going to be the one that comes up. There we go. That's the one there. So you can see it's available in a couple of different sizes. I do believe there's 5 or possibly even 6 in total. So there's lots to have a look at on their website. Okay, so please head on over there. Now, although we offer a 10% discount using the code ANTS10, I do believe that they have a really good offer on at the moment, and I'm pretty sure I read somewhere it's a 20 or 25% off, and that's the cutters alone. If you do want the clay, then personally I'd order it separately, so you get your 10% off. So that is their website, nice and easy to use, like I say. Right, so let's have a look who else has joined us. Laura has put, I made my bell rose with the 5-petal cutters using polymer clay. Yeah, I can remember that. That was an absolute fantastic project that you come out with there, Laura. Now, I'm glad you actually bought that particular type of clay up, which is the polymer. If you're going to be using polymer clay with any plastic cutters, then just make sure that you actually clean the cutters afterwards, because the polymer clay can actually start to eat in to your cutters, and obviously you don't want that happening there at all. So let's get making. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these aside at the moment. Now, the clay we're going to be using on this evening's live is the Bright and Light clay from FMM Sugarcraft. Like I say, also available on their website, so please go and have a look for that. Also, all the tools that we're going to be using, the Fmm Foam Former Mat, which is this, and all of these tools here, all available on their website. So first of all, I'm just going to grab a piece of clay. Now, this, using the 5-petal cutter, is a slightly different make to the previous ones. Okay, so in the fact that you have to make this. Okay, now you don't need a mold, you can just use your fingers to actually do this, so it's really nice and easy. You're just going to need a piece of florist wire, okay, the thicker gauge, and then just quite simply just roll that in your hands to start with, okay, like so, and then just hold the ball of clay and then squeeze around this end and just keep on going, and you'll see that's the shape you're going to get straight away. Okay, hi there, Anne has joined us as well. So has Jenny Shepherd, so lots of people coming on board now. So that is the sort of the shape that you're going to want for the center of your rose. Then, like I say, just grabbing some of the florist wires, you just need to bend that back, okay, so it creates that hook. Hi there, Diane. You're here. Okay, Diane has shown us a really nice picture of a yellow rose that she's made, and it is really brilliant, and hopefully her fingers are on the mend. So then what you need to do is, once you've done that, just simply push that in, so the hook is down there. Okay, so just pull that in, okay, so it really anchors in nicely, and then just twist that around like so. Okay, so that is the sort of shape you're after. Now, size wise, okay, I'm just going to grab a ruler here. So I'm going to be using the largest of the 5-petal cutters, which is this one here. So the sort of size cone, for want of a better term, is about 2.5 centimeters long by about 2 centimeters wide. So that's the sort of size you're going to be needing. Now, what you do need to do is leave that a couple of hours so it's actually gone hard. Otherwise, if I was to use this one, once I start to press the other petals around it, then it's going to get all squashed, so it's not going to be very good at all. Right, so let's get going. So what we need to start with is two different colour clays. Now you'll notice they're just very slightly different shades. So the centre part is the darker, and then the petals further out they get will be the lighter colour as well. So I'm just going to pop all of that in a bag at the moment, okay, and just make sure that is sealed nicely. Right, okay, so let's just change our cameras to this one here so you can see what's going on. And then what I'm going to do, I'm using the non-stick mat here, okay, and I'm just going to use the nylon rolling pin, and I'm just going to start rolling that out. Now what we all know from previous Facebook Lives that I've done is that the clay has just got to be right. If it's too sticky, it's not going to work. So what I tend to do, I always just leave it out for a little while, okay, and then it just allows the moisture to disperse a little bit. So the thickness of clay you're going to want is about 1 millimeter thick, and you can see you can get a really nice it rolls out really nicely. If you're unsure what 1 millimeter is, there are some ends to the nylon rolling pin that you can actually buy, and that will give you the correct thickness, but after a time you'll easily be able to gauge how thick the clay has got to be for each time. So now I'm just going to simply just press down, okay, onto that like so, and then just take that, peel back what you don't need. Nothing is wasted, so that basically just rolls back up, and then we pop that back in our airtight bag, and as long as the majority of the air is actually taken out of the bag, it's probably going to be good to go for, I would say, about 3 weeks, okay, but just make sure most of the air is out of the bag. So you now have the 5 petals all cut out nicely, so you're just going to pop that up like so, and then using our Fmm foam former mat, always very difficult to say that one, especially if you've had a cider, just pop that on the mat there, then using the rounded ball tool, then just simply going to go from the center outwards, okay, so you're really thinning out all of those petals. So it's really important that the petals are nice and thin. What I always recommend is that you keep on lifting every time you've actually rolled out a petal. Just lift it just to make sure it's not sticking on the mat, and then just go with the second one. You'll notice that when I'm actually doing this, okay, that each petal has been separated from the previous one. If they do stick together, then just use another tool like this knife tool just to separate them, because it is important that each petal is completely separate from one another. Okay, so just keep on going around like so, and again just lift and turn, just pop that in the middle of the mat, and just quite quickly you can start to build up the center part of the rose. You'll notice what I'm also doing is I'm just pressing here just to elongate or stretch the clay that little bit more so each of the petals is smaller. Okay, so let me just keep on rolling those ones out. So has anyone got any questions out there? Everyone's really quiet this evening. Let's have a look. Who we got? We've got Patty. Hi there, Patty. Glad you can join us. And finally got to watch one of your lives. Bless you. Thank you very much for joining us. So I'm just rolling these out at the moment. So the air drying clay from FMM is a really good quality clay. It's going to work in moulds as well as being able to make beautiful flowers with as well. Available on the FMM website. So there we go. That is layer number 1. Okay, so we're just going to pop this aside for the moment and bring this one back into play. Now, it's up to you how long you actually make this piece of wire. I keep them fairly short and add afterwards. It's because when you're actually handling them, that's when it can get a little bit tricky. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is basically place this part of the wire dead center or near enough dead center to this 5-piece petal. But before you do that, okay, there is a method in actually popping these. If I just bring in this one here, okay, this is one I've done earlier. Cindy, right, since I'm totally new, how do you colour the clay? Okay, Cindy, that is a great question. And I don't know if you've noticed, but you probably see these lurking on the side here. Okay, so the clay from FMM is actually white. Okay, so all you need to do is dab the clay directly onto the pad, and hey presto, you've coloured it. It is really that easy. But because you're actually adding moisture to the clay, then just make sure that the clay itself allow it a little bit longer to actually dry. So getting back to this one, this one I've already done. Okay, like I said, there is a method in folding or putting in place, should I say, each individual petal. Okay, so the order is petal 1, 3, 5, 2 and 4. Now I'll be honest with you, once I start to go around here, I completely lose track of what petal is number 1, what petal is number 2, so I cheat. I just pop a little mark, 1, 2, 3 and then 4. Okay, don't bother with 5 because obviously that's the only one that hasn't got any. So it's 1, 2, 3 and 4. I don't know if you can see. Let me just hold it up. So I'll just mark them. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use some water. Okay, so I'm just going to spray that on there. Now this will act like a glue, because the great thing about this particular clay is that even if it's quite dry, you don't tend to need any type of glue to actually stick it to itself. So let's just grab this, and like I say, we're wanting to go right near enough in the center, like so. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to add a little bit of water just down on the petals, just there, just in the center. Okay, so then we're going to commit to petal number 1. Oops, sorry, I thought that was my paintbrush. So petal number 1. Okay, so we're going to wrap that round first. Okay, so just give that a little bit of a press. If it's not sticking, then just add a little bit more water. So that's number 1. Okay, then the next one in line is number 3, which is this one here. So again, we're just going to add a little bit of water. Okay, and that's drying up. I've got a pot here. Let me just pop that down. Okay, a pot of water. That's probably going to be easier to work with. Okay, so again, we're just going to pop that in. You're very welcome. So what? And also, I'm getting fidgety. I want to start craft again. I bet you are, Diane. Poor Diane chopped the tops of her fingers off. Ouch. So here we go. So this is number 3. Okay, now you can start to manipulate those petals a little bit more. So that was 3, and then after that it's number 5. So that is basically the one without any marks on whatsoever. So again, just a little bit of water again, just dab that onto there, and then just pop that up. And let me just pop that like so. Okay, like that, and you can see it's just that water is holding that perfectly in place. And then we have number 4, which is this one here. So you can see once you start twisting these around, that's why I put those little indentations on each of the petals so I know which is which. And then we're just going to go with that one like so. And then finally we have the last one, which is number 4, and we're just going to pop that one into there. Okay, and there we go. All of a sudden you can see that that is starting to look like the center of a rose. So I'm just going to start manipulating a couple of those little petals. Okay, so that is the center of our flower. Okay, just bear with me one moment while I change camera. Hopefully there we go. So you can see now that is looking like the center of a flower, and you can just keep on squeezing that around a little bit. So that looks so much easier than the polymer clay. I think I need to remake Bella's rose. I don't think you do really, Laura, because you did make a fantastic job of it first time round. There's no two ways, but yes, the air drying clay is possibly a little bit easier. So once we've got all of layer 1 done, I've just got this little holder. I don't know where I actually acquired it from, but I'm going to pop that in there just to keep that upright, so it's just out of shot. In typical Blue Peter style, I have already made some of the others. Okay, so you can see the two different colours there. You've got the dark one and you've got the light. So we're just going to go for the dark one first. I'm going to place those over there, and once again I'm just going to number them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit of water into this. So let's have a look. So yeah, so Laura's also answering Cindy as well on how to colour the clay. So we're just going to pop that in the centre yet again, like so. And if we can remember the order, so where there's sort of like a gap here, that's where you're going to put petal number 1. So just pop that onto there, a little bit of water, and then just manipulate that. And you can see I'm just basically using my 2 fingers there. Okay, what we'll do, I'm just going to see if this will work any better. There we go. So you can actually see both angles at the same time. So that was number 1, and then we need number 3. So again, look for the indentations that you've hopefully made, because like I say, I'd get totally confused which one I'd actually stuck on. So just going to pop that one like so, and again just squeeze in from each side. Okay, and then we have number 5, so that's the one without any marks on the tool. Again, just a little bit of water on there, and then just pop that one round. Just make them random as well. Let's have a look. So fingers are healing, says Diane, nicely. You are making me what's that? You are making me to spend lots of work watching your videos. Whilst off watching your videos. Oh, bless you. So that was number 5. We then go back to number 2, which is round here. So let's make our way back round to there. So as I was saying earlier, you know, that's why I keep these ones fairly short. Okay, purely because if we made them any longer, then it's just a little bit more difficult to handle. You can always go back in there and you can add a longer piece afterwards. So Laura's saying glad you're healing, and we're glad Laura's healing as well, because she also chopped the top of her fingers off as well. But believe me, it's got nothing to do with watching my Facebook lives, honestly. Right, so now you can see, there we go. That is the sort of the look of that rose. So again, we're just going to pop that into our little holder just there. We're going to grab our next one. So from this point on, you don't really need to do them in any particular order. Okay, so again, these are near enough dry, the clay, so we'll just put a little bit of water in there, and again into the center like so, and then just pop that up. Basically look for a space. So again, where there's no petals, so it's just here, and then we're just going to put a little bit of water on there, and then just squash that in like so. And I think we'll just literally go round in the order that they actually are. Okay, so like I say, once you pass those first 2 layers, then you can really put the petals in whichever order that you want. So we're just going to go round with that one like so, and a little bit more water. Okay, like that, and then a little bit more. Okay, so it's easier, obviously, as I've done, to basically have all of your clay already cut beforehand. It just makes life a lot simpler. Once again, just go with the knife tool there and just start manipulating some of those petals. Okay, like so, and just give it a little bit of a squeeze on the base. Just pop that in there, and then we've just got one more layer. So yeah, Laura's chopping onions. God, what are you lot like? You and fingers, hey? God. Right, so again, this is the last layer that I'm doing, But as I said, you can just keep on building and building and building. This particular one here, let me just grab this one here. I do believe I did 5 layers there, okay? But it's entirely up to you how many or how few you actually do. So again, we're just going to pop that into the center part there. Look for that space, which is about there. And then just start to use a little bit of water to pop those petals into place. And then we are just about done for this particular rose. So you can see it doesn't actually take too long, and the results are pretty good. And I'll be totally honest with you, I actually haven't made many roses using the 5 petal cutters, but that's how easy it is to do. Okay, so let me just pop that there. Like I say, we can keep on, just go back in, and maybe you want to let's just separate those 2 petals. And by the way, if you do rip the petals when you're actually manipulating them, don't worry too much, because real roses do actually have holes in their petals as well sometimes. Let's have a look. So Samantha Thompson, looking amazing already. Sorry I'm late, I've been a taxi service. Oh, bless you, Sam. We won't hold it against you, just go to the back of the room on the naughty step. Only joking. I'm glad you made it. Right, so like I said, we're just going to keep on going around there. Now let's have a look. Wow, now I have to buy another cutter. Oh dear. So as you can see, you know, if you add more and more layers, then it's going to be even more of an open flower. But as I was saying, just go in there and start manipulating those petals. Maybe you want to like roll the petals. Okay, so just simply using a tool, okay, like I'm doing that, and just turn it back on itself. Okay, just do a couple of those just randomly about the place. Okay, and it just does make a real big difference to the overall finish of that flower. Look at that. There we go. So just a couple of little twists. Just make sure that the petals aren't stuck to one another. Ian, what are you saying, mate? What are you saying, mate? Have bought. I have to take my glasses off. I'm so sorry. I'm so short-sighted. Right. Have bought a note or an apple for the teacher. That's only because you don't want to go on the naughty step. I know. Sarah's saying it looks fab. Thank you so much, Sarah. Like I say, it really is that easy. This is probably less than, I say I haven't made a lot of these ones. This is probably less than 10 flowers I've made using this particular, the 5 petal cutter. So that is how beautiful and how easy it is to actually do. Oh, hi there, Liz. Liz has joined us as well. Samantha, Ian, nope, I'm in trouble. Yeah, you're all in trouble. You know, lateness, being cheeky, funny comments this morning when I posted that I was going to be live. That was just hilarious from everyone. Let's have a look. Hi, Anthony, and oh, sorry, a little bit late. That looks. Do you know what? I thought you actually wrote there, Claire. That looks terrible, but it's because I've got my glasses on. I can't see. It says it looks beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Right, so I'm going to pop that aside, okay, and let's just show you. Like I said, it's on a little holder. You can see how cute that is. Okay, we're just going to pop that aside. Hi there, Jill. Jill has joined us. Smack legs then, says Ian. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's brilliant and so informative too. Oh, thank you so much, Jill. That's lovely for you to say. Right, so there are a couple of other cutters that we're going to be referring to this evening. That's these ones here. What are they? These are the Calyxes. Now, I have actually shown you how to do these on a previous Facebook Live, but don't worry, because what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing another Rose Facebook Live next week. And that's going to show you a couple of more things. But what a calyx is, it's this bit that's actually on the back of the rose. Okay. Now I've got a bit fancy with the 2 I made recently, because I looked at roses and they don't actually sit or are stuck all the way. Okay. So they're like curled. I don't know if you can actually see that. They're slightly curled. Okay. and it just makes them look that little bit more realistic. So that's how fancy you can get. So the other one that I will be showing next week is this one here, which is the easiest rose ever cutter. Okay, so you can see there is a difference between the two, but if you want really large roses, then you know the 5-petal cutter is the one you're going to want to use. Right, so getting back to this, let's have a look. Claire says take glasses off before you get into trouble. Yeah, I know. I don't know how many times I've done that before in the past, Claire, I can tell you. What with that and my typos, I'm a legend, absolute legend. Right, so that's the Calyx cutter. The other one, okay, that it's going to work really, really nicely are these. Now these will help you to produce the beautiful leaves, okay, that are also available on the FMM website. So the video that I'm going to show you next, I'm sort of, this is a bit of a cop-out, although it's a live, it's actually a little bit of a pre-record because I've been very busy doing some videos as well this week. But before we go there, be sure to do this for us. Well, I knew someone had to be cheeky, yes, and I don't even need to take my glass off for that one. Definitely a legend. Of the Jurassic kind. Well, thank you so much, Samantha Thompson. I'll be having words with you. Oh my God, I need to make a new rose. Seriously, you don't know? You made a fantastic rose. Anyway, like I say, that is... do you know what? I've completely lost your place now. you lot know how to put someone off. You really do. Right. So with the lives, as everyone is probably aware, that I actually pop them onto my own YouTube channel just in case you can't view them. Okay, so head over to my YouTube channel. Now my YouTube channel, if it's going to be working, oh, there we go, it's up and working. That makes a change, doesn't it? So if you go onto my YouTube channel, it's all the W's, youtube.com/c/mixed media arts and crafts. Once you're there, please have a look. I've uploaded some new videos this week. We have how to do verdigris. Woohoo, look at that. We also have this one here. I was mentioning earlier that you can actually be using the clay in molds. Please take a look at that. If you want to see all the videos in their entirety, then click on the videos bit, this one just here, and let's have a look. You will see loads come up. So they date back from quite a long time, but there's lots there for you to have a look at. There's stuff I've done for Prima in the past, for FMM, and dare I say that other company that I used to work for. They've done a couple of things for those as well. A leg end, yeah, I think that's probably right. Okay. Look forward to seeing you and Sam back in Tattershall. Oh, Jean, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'm sure we will at some point come back and visit all you guys up there. So like I say, that is my YouTube channel. Okay. If I could find the bit that actually says about my my YouTube account, I do believe it's probably this one here. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Okay, so that is the address. I'm sorry, I'm not quick enough to type in the comments the address, but I did actually put it in the description of the video if you so wish. Right, so getting back to tonight's show. So I said about the leaves, how to make those. Obviously, you need the cutters to cut them, but then you need to paint them. So this is how you do that. So what I'm going to show here is just how to paint some of the leaves. I've already shown you how to wire them in previous Facebook Lives, so we're just going to paint these ones to make them look a little bit more realistic. Originally I used just some of the Distress Oxide inks to actually colour the white clay, but now we're just going to go that one little bit further. Admittedly, you probably don't need to, but I just go for a colour green to start with in the first instance. So the sort of greens we're going to be using is sort of like a grass green really, and a little bit of black. So we're just going to mix that one up just on the glass mat here. So a little bit of that, and then just, and I do mean a dab of black. You don't want to go too dark with the green. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit, probably just actually take it from the lid there, and let's have a look. Yeah, that's probably not too far actually from it. So it's almost the sort of colour we're after is sort of colour you'd expect to see on a rose flower. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more, but I don't want to contaminate my brush there, so I'm just going to literally see what we can squeeze out of the end of this one, but not too much. Let's have a look. Probably just that much again. That sort of looks good. Okay, right, so let's just pop the lids on there. Just going to take that brush, just pop that aside for the moment, and just get mixing. So it's quite a darkish green. Okay, very different to what we started with. So once you're happy and you've mixed that in nicely, then literally it's just a case of taking your leaf and then coating it. Now what I always suggest is make sure you go all the way around the edges as well, so there's going to be no gaps. So I normally start around the edges and then go on to the centre part a little bit later, because just so we know that we've covered that pretty well. Okay, so just go in there. Personal preference is just to let these dry just on one side before you paint the other. Okay, so that's one, but just keep on going for all the leaves that you want. That's all the leaves done. Let's just wait until they've near enough dried. It's pretty hot in here today, so it's actually drying pretty quick. And then just go on the other side, and then, which is the underside obviously of the leaf, and then just using the same colour paint, just go onto there as well. And you can see the clay does take the paint extremely well. Okay, so just quickly just go over all of those. So there's all our leaves. Okay, we just need to let those ones now dry. Okay, which shouldn't take too long. So it's quite a darkish green there. Now, what we can be doing just in the meantime is just adding, let's just grab that, okay, from there. And then we're just going to want a little bit more of the original green that we actually used. Okay, not too much again. So, you know, this is acrylic paint, okay. And then a little bit of that black. We're looking for slightly a darker colour, so I'm just going to see if I can achieve that by squeezing way too much out there. Okay, let's just take some of that back. Okay, I think I saved it just in time. Give that a little bit of a mix. Okay, so that's a sort of colour, so it's almost like a black, but not quite. Okay, so it's quite a dark green now, more so than our original colour. Okay, so just keep on mixing that in until you're happy you've got a nice consistent colour running throughout all of your mix. Okay, and I think that's just about it. Okay, let's just have a look. So that's our original colour. You can see that one just very slightly darker. We could actually go slightly darker even more. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. We'll see how it goes. Right, okay, once we get to that point, we're just going to grab ourselves a foam brush. This one's actually quite a chunky one. Let's see if I can get finer. This one's okay. That one's slightly finer. Okay, so just dab that into your paint. Okay, like so. You don't want to overload this. Okay, and then simply just brush onto the edges of your leaf. Okay. Now let's see if we can actually see a difference there. We can just about see. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more black. You keep on playing with this, but like I say, you don't want it so it's too like black, but just enough to distinguish it from the original colour actually on the leaves. So just have a play with that. Like I say, I'm just going to darken that up just very slightly. Okay, I think that would do. Let's just have a look. Okay, yeah, I think that's a little bit darker than it was previous. Okay, right, so let's try that again. It's all about experimenting with the colours. Let me just add that so you can see there, that's our previous colour we had, and this is now the dark colour, so I'm pretty happy with that. So just going to go onto there, dab off. Okay, so we're just going to go around the outside of the leaves, okay, just to give it a little bit of shape, but just by using the colour. Okay, so that's sort of the effect we're wanting. Obviously you can dry brush that a little bit more if you should so wish. So just, like I said, just around the outside. Right, so we have all of our leaves already done. We're now just going to add that centre bit down the middle there. So we're just going to want some white acrylic paint. Okay, let's just squeeze in. I do mean a little bit out of this rather large bottle I have here. Okay, literally you want about that much. Okay, it's hardly any. That's near enough per leaf. So just you know, measure that out accordingly. So then, with hardly any on your paintbrush, and just take the leaf and then just brush down the centre of it like that. So like I say, you need hardly any. Then what we need to do is just brush slightly outwards like so. Okay, so it's going to give you that type of effect. Okay, so no more no less. So again, just make sure you haven't got that much on your brush, and just flick the bristles sort of like outwards from the centre outwards on every single leaf, and that can give you just the look that you want. So you're going in what was the lighter green area in the middle, and you want to brush outwards and sort of like beyond into the black. And because you've had or used hardly any of the white paint, it sort of is, it does become a little bit sort of like translucent as such, or transparent should I say. And then just keep on just brushing that in. But that is the sort of effect, just very very quickly, that you're after on all of your leaves. And then once that's done, it's time then to get the varnish and give what is at the moment a very dull leaf a nice shiny finish. Okay, so now we're going to varnish them. I have actually already given these one coat, so you'll see they've got quite a nice shine. The reverse hasn't got anything, so you can see there's a really big difference there between the front and the back. Okay, but my two preferences are this one here, which is clear coat from Viva Decor, and then we've got this one here that is glossy varnish from Petal. Both of them are water-based, and it's really really crucial that you go for a water-based product. Okay, right, so let's just take those off, and now I'm just going to grab our leaves. Hopefully these ones have dried. They are pretty quick at drying, and we're just going to add a little bit onto our brush, and then we're just going onto the back of these leaves. And normally I tend to do 2 coats just to bring out the sheen, but to be honest with you, this product is pretty good. This is the Petal one, at creating a nice sort of glossy finish with 1 coat, but it's entirely up to you, whatever sort of look that you want. So like I say, that is one coat. That's pretty nice as it stands. So that's all I think I'm going to do on these. So this is just the back of the leaf. Okay, and just quickly do the other three. Okay, so you don't need a lot of this product, and it seriously is going to last you a long time. The reason I said it's got to be water-based is because you've got the acrylic paint underneath. Other sort of like varnishes that contain sort of like chemicals and what have you, they can start to eat into the paint. So I always tend to err on the side of caution and go for one that is water-based, because that's not going to damage the paintwork underneath. If you're unsure, then just do yourself a little test. Okay, so that's all of those done. Then what we're going to do is we are just going to then have a look at them, because just to make sure they are as shiny as we want. Like I said, I think that's pretty much the case. We're then going to bring the actual 2 roses that we made. So this is using the large 5-leaf petal cutter, and this one is using the easiest rose ever cutter. They're, like I say, pretty different flowers. Okay, 2 roses there. One has got the beautiful bud in the middle, and the other one's slightly more open, but they both work really, really nicely together. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to paint the calyxes, okay, with the varnish as well. Okay, so we're just going to wait until they have dried, and then we're going to do that to the back of the roses. So you can see that's how to create those beautiful and quite realistic leaves there. So from something that goes from that to that, and then you've got that beautiful glossy finish on there as well. So this is the sort of thing you can actually be using. So let's have a look. Hi there, Angie. Angie's finally made it. Hi there, Angie. We all know Angie and her banana cake. Oh my goodness me, she's absolutely legendary with her banana cake. Very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Let's just quickly have a look at some of the other comments. Wow, how rude of him. I know, isn't it? Diane, your husband. Goodness me. Let's have a look. I've told the hubby I'm watching a live, and he rolled his eyes. A shot went to the garage. Let's have a look. Yeah, so like I say, this is what you can actually be using the roses for once you've actually made them. So this is a beautiful box. So I'm just going to bring down our snazzy cameras, okay, down here, so you can actually see. So this is a beautiful, like maybe a jewelry box. Okay, so what I've actually done there, I've decorated it with some beautiful molds from Prima, put 3 of the white roses there in the middle. Yeah. Oh, banana bread. Sorry, was it banana? Do you know, I was going to say banana bread, but then I thought banana cake. But you know what? I'm partial to both. So this is the sort of thing you can be using them for. Okay, something like that. Then maybe if you want a paperweight, then you could be doing something like this. Now the clay I've actually used here is the FMM Polymer Clay. Okay, so the polymer clay is air drying. I've covered that on a previous Facebook Live. Like I say, have a look on my YouTube channel for all of the previous ones. Okay, so this type of clay, it's far more robust, so you can really handle that a lot. Okay, it can take a lot more damage, okay, and hard wear and tear compared to the paper clay. Let's have a look. What's Angie put here? Angie put, thanks Anthony. I'm so glad when you come back up to eat some cake with us all, as well as working, of course. Work it? Yeah, of course, working. Crafting, working. Yeah, I know what you mean. So anyway, that's the sort of thing you can be doing. Then obviously you can be doing this sort of thing. Okay, so you are wiring the flower as well. Okay, so that takes a little bit more time, and I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit difficult to actually do a live of that. So do you know what? I've done you a video, okay, of that as well. But first of all, let's just show you the difference here between this one here that we made at the top of the show, and this one here, you can see it's the colouring. So I've just gone and coloured the edge of the leaves. Now there's two ways of actually doing that. I'm popping that on. I'll hold it. There's two ways of actually doing that. Like I say, it's using the Distress Oxide inks or the Distress inks. You can either apply it with a brush, or indeed you can actually apply it with a paintbrush. So hopefully this video will show you how to do it with a paintbrush. Right, the next thing we're going to do is paint the rose. Now, as I said, we've got two roses. So we have this one here that has been made with the 5-piece cutter, and this one here that seems to be alive is the one that's been created with the easiest rose ever cutter. So that's the differences between the two. There's two different methods really to paint these. You can either use a paintbrush, or indeed you can be using one of the foam applicators. So I'm going to show you both. So with the one that is done with the 5-piece cutter, we're going to be using a paintbrush. Okay, so you can use either the normal Distress inks or the Distress Oxide inks. I'm actually going to be using the same colours, but that one we're going to be used for the easiest rose ever. We're going to use the normal Distress ink for this one here. So like I say, we're just going to use the paintbrush technique, so it does take a little bit longer. Okay, and literally you just brush on the colour just on the very edge. Okay, just keep on going round on every single petal. You can go sideways as well, and if you use quite a light brushing technique, then basically it's going on the raised parts of the clay and sort of like missing out the valleys that are created in the clay. Okay, so it just depends what sort of look you're after. So just go around with every single petal. So obviously it's going to take a little bit of time because each of the roses does have rather a lot of petals. Like I say, this is the longest of the two processes, but we'll compare both at the end to see if there's sort of like any visible differences. At the moment I don't know, because I've never actually compared to the two painting techniques, or colouring techniques should I say, for the flowers. So I'm just going to carry on going at this particular rose. Okay, and then we'll come back a little bit later when I have done, just to have a look at the finished result. So I'm just going to keep on painting. Okay, there it is, all nicely finished. Now the one thing I always recommend that you do is just get yourself a water spritzer, okay, and then just spritz the flower. Now at the moment that is actually a pretty nice finish, but oh, and I missed a bit, so let me let me just go back. Okay, let me just go back and see if I can find that bit that I have just missed. Okay, so just quickly onto that petal. You'll probably notice a couple other bits as well as you're doing it, but you can always go back in there, use the same colour. Okay, right, I think I'm just about done. Do you know what, now I'm even seeing more bits that maybe I just want to add a little bit more colour to. Sometimes the underside of the petals as well. Like I say, it just depends how much detail you want to do for the colouring. But I think that's near enough. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I'm just going to move everything aside, and then we're going to spritz. Okay, so make sure you've got a spritz with a really fine mist and not a jet. Okay, so what this is hopefully going to do is just going to help bleed in some of that colour into the clay The clay itself is a paper pulp, so it will act exactly the same way as if you were using it, your distress inks and water on normal paper. So just make sure, there we go, give that a good old soaking. Okay, and you can see, there we go, some of the colour is pooling, which is absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to leave that somewhere in an upright position just so it holds those colours sort of thing where we want them. I think I'm going to see if I can stick it inside this vase that I've made. Okay, or decorate anyway. So I'm just going to leave that like that and pop that aside to dry. Right, so the next one we're going to be colouring is this one here. Okay, so this rose was created by the easiest rose ever cutter. So I'm just going to have a little bit of tidy and then we'll come back and we'll do that. Well, in actual fact, I'll be doing that one next week because that's when we're going to be having a look at the other cutters from FMM. So, like I say, this is that particular rose that was actually made on the pre-recorded elements that I did earlier. So you can see there's lots of different things involved in making this. So let's have a look what Laura's, but I need to say good night. It's bedtime for the boys and I need to read. Bless you. Thank you so much for joining us, Laura. I hope it's a good story for the boys. So, like I say, to actually wire them, the very first time I wired a flower, I was like, oh my goodness, because nobody actually showed me what to do, how to do it. So, I'm now going to show you on this pre-recorded one of actually how I've gone in there and I have done the 5 piece cutter. So that's this one here, okay, how I've actually put together this particular flower. So I'm rather hoping it's this video, but because I have done loads of videos, you never know, but here goes, fingers crossed. So first off, I'm just going to straighten the wire that is already on there, and we're going to start off by just seeing roughly where we want these rose leaves to actually go. I'm probably going to keep them pretty much at the top there, just sort of like one either side, possibly just step down a little bit. So first of all, I'm just going to use some of the florist tape. Now you don't have to do this all in one long piece, by the way. You can do it in small sections. You can add, if you want, to the tape a little bit later on. So initially I just want to go around the top there, so just blending the calyx in, then get it about 45 degrees and start wrapping it round. I have used a thicker gauge wire for the actual stem and then the thinner gauge for the leaves. Now the leaves do have rather long stems on them, which is great. If you do pull too hard as I've just done there, it will actually obviously break the florist tape, but it doesn't worry. Like I say, you can't see where one piece finishes and another piece ends. So I'm just going to go down that far, okay, and just press that in to confirm it. And I think we're going to have, yeah, we're going to start there. So again, just take that piece off, and I'm just going to hold it up. I'm just going to sort of like pose it to see what it's going to look like. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then just go back there, stretch out your florist tape again, just so it makes it sticky. And let's just bring that down a little bit. Okay, we still want a little bit of the stem so you can still move it afterwards. Okay, so we're happy with that one. So that is one leaf. We're just going to bring another one into play now. We're going to come a little bit lower. Maybe I'll just wrap that a little bit more. Okay, like so. Right, now bring our second one into play. So that's just a little bit lower. Okay, and then just start to wrap that one as well.
So I'm just going to go all the way down with that one, and then we're going to put the third one in a second. Let's just keep on going all the way around, and then a little bit more of the florist tape. Let's just have a look before we actually position this one. We've got 2 petals there, and I think the third one just sort of like there. So again, I'm just going to pop that one. Whoops. It starts to have a little bit of a life of its own at this point. So let's just pop that one there. So that's sticking out just there. So let's just pop that up a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of play so you can still position or pose that leaf there. So just a little bit higher. And then when I'm happy with the position, just use the florist tape again, and we're just going to wrap that around 45 degrees. Okay, and we're sort of happy with that. Okay, now what I tend to do sometimes is if I don't want the stem to be too long, I then just bend it back on itself like so, give it a bit of a squidge, get it as straight as I possibly can, and then I will tape the rest of that. So that's probably all I need there. So again, I'm just going to squidge that. You can cut it if you should so wish, or you can just squash it down, whatever your preference is. I'm just going to use this wooden foam brush, the handle of the foam brush, just see if I can squash that down. If not, it doesn't matter too much. Okay, and then obviously where your wire is here, you want to start taping above that, so it's definitely going to make sure that that would be nice and secure. Once you start to wrap it round, it's also going to give a little bit of body to the stem as well. So just keep on going round, and then we'll be done. Just another little bit of florist tape on there. Again, just go slightly above, stretch it, and then just start to wrap all the way round, right into the bottom where we had that little loop showing. Okay, and maybe just a little bit more, just so you definitely cannot see any of that wire. So all the way around, and then we are done with wiring that rose. Okay, just keep on pressing that down on itself, just keep it twist. Now with the rose leaves, as you can see, we can pull them out there, so they're all the way around. As I was saying, where it comes to the bending of them, just make sure that you hold either end of the leaf, and then just very, very carefully just twist that round. Okay, and it will retain its shape. And there is one of the roses all wired up. So that is the one with the 5 petal cutters. So now we're going to wire the other one, and then again, like I say, we'll compare them. Okay.
So you can see that's how easy it is to actually wire rose. So don't be put off, that's all I say. So you can see, as well as making roses to actually put in a vase, they look really, really at home when it's like a mixed media project like we've actually got here, or a smaller canvas, here we go, that I've also made. And obviously with roses, they can be in any colour. And as we said at the very beginning of the show, when somebody asked, I can't remember who it was now, who asked, Cindy, that's right, Cindy, who asked how to colour the clay, then I just use Distress Oxides or indeed Distress Inks. They're both going to work really, really nicely together. Right, okay. So that is basically it on this particular live. So that's using these cutters from FMM. So that's the 5-leaf petal cutter. If you're interested in flower making, you may be interested in these. Well, hopefully we'll be doing some workshops hopefully soon, but obviously with this continuing COVID thing going on, who knows what tomorrow is going to bring. But as long as you all stay as safe as you possibly can, then that's the direction that we want to go in. So a very big thank you to all of you who were able to join me this evening. And I do realise that the football is on, so maybe your husbands, if you do watch this on a large screen, have nabbed the remote control. I will be back next Wednesday at exactly the same time, 7 p.m. If you've liked the video and the content, etc., please share, and you know, it's word of mouth. That's how things get about. Please tell your crafting friends as well to come on board and join us for the next Facebook Live. A very, very big thank you, like I say, to all of you who have joined me this evening, and I wish you a great rest of the evening and a fantastic weekend. Let's hope that sunshine does actually come back. So let's just have a look. I'm looking on my info board here. And do you know what? I can't even see where I'm going next, which is about right now. I found it now. So let's just have a quick look at the comments before I go. I'm just going to take my glasses off. Liz says, thanks very much. Really great live. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Liz. As does Sarah. Sarah also says, thanks, great demo. Jean says, thank you. I'll be getting my clay and moulds out again. So sorry, late. I'll do a catch up. That's Jean. Jean, absolutely no problem at all. Like I say, all of the Facebook Lives do go onto my YouTube channel. Well, I better put my glasses on before I say goodbye and hopefully press the right button. But like I say, all of you stay safe, happy crafting, and I look forward to seeing you again on my next live, which will not be in 2 weeks time. That'll be next week, and we'll be using these cutters, which are the easiest rows ever. So that rose I showed you tonight was pretty easy. This one's even easier, but that's all for next week. Hope you can join me then. Thanks so much for watching.